I guess I'm a little obsessive when it comes to hobbies. I will start out in a normal kind of way, but then I dive into whatever the topic is. An example would be motorcycles. My friends were buying Harleys, so I went to the motorcycle school and got my license and bought a Harley, and then decided, maybe I'll just take it apart. So in the wintertime, I tore it down to the frame, customized a number of things, and so I ended up selling some of my bikes. My wife didn't understand because she said, well, geez, you just did all this work. And I said, yeah, but it's done now, so I'm ready to move on. And then I realized as I was riding, I was scraping a lot of the chrome parts on the road. So I said, well, maybe I need a sportier kind of bike. So I went from that to getting sort of a sport touring bike. And I said, well, that's kind of fun, but maybe I get a racing bike. So I bought a racing bike, and I said, well, if I got a racing bike, and maybe I need to learn how to race. So I went to school in Atlanta and learned how to race and started going to barbers and rode Atlanta. And I did that for a number of years. And at one point I had a little altercation on the track, and the young 17-year-old, at least he looked like, jumped on the bike, finished, and I was in physical therapy for a few months, and I realized, I'm probably too old to be doing this. My house was on a dirt road, so I was so far back in the woods. I grew up in the real country, but it was in Vermont. But it was kind of a great way to grow up. It was very simple, but I knew from the time I was fairly young that I wanted to leave, which is an odd thing, but I just felt like there was more out there in the world that I wanted to see, and so I just had this desire from the time I was pretty young to, almost like you see in the movies where they put their handkerchief on a stick and they go out to the big city to seek their fortune. I mean, I always felt that way, and so that's what I did.
Mike finished college in Vermont and then obtained his graduate degree from Emory University in Atlanta. It was there that he met and fell in love with his wife, Ann.
Outside of my immediate family, I've known Ann longer than anybody else in my life, and one of the things I've told friends of mine, there's a photograph of Ann back when we were dating, and we were at some theme park, and there was a big wooden shoe, and look, when she was younger, she looked like a high school kid. In fact, my classmates thought I was like going out with a grade school kid. She looked very young. So she's sitting in this shoe, and she looks very young. When I look at my wife today, I still see that young girl in the shoe. I see the same girl there that 30 years ago.
In 1996, Mike Temple came to work for Regions and would later realize his vision for a new real estate corporate banking group within the bank.
Through a year's worth of meetings with everybody on executive council and going through the numbers, real estate corporate banking got approved, and so I was able to start a business that hadn't existed before, and we built an incredible team that I'm so proud of. We've built the business from scratch over the last 5 years, and we've done pretty well. I think we've lived up to everything I said we'd be able to do, I guess, in the original white paper. But I'm mostly proud of the team that we've built. It's really a family. Everybody looks out for each other, cares about each other, and it's the best way to describe it. It feels like a family.
We all admire him and love him, really, and there's never a doubt that he would do the right thing for the bank, for us, and for the client. There's we have 100 clients. We're a very busy group. We're always traveling. He's always available. I can't think of a time when he hasn't been fair, and I haven't felt I've been treated fairly.
Well, Mike always takes a positive view, never a negative view. In other words, what can he do to remove a roadblock? What can we do to be successful? He understands the goals of both the team, the bank, the clients. He ties all that together above any personal goals that he has for himself, and that's his outlook on life.
In working with people, he always sees the good. To steal that tagline, I feel lucky to call him boss, but I would tell you that I feel honored, to call him a friend.
But Mike doesn't limit his success merely to his work endeavors. After several terms on the board of the Greater Birmingham YMCA, Mike was presented with the Red Triangle Award, the organization's top honor, in recognition of his many years of volunteer service and outstanding achievement.
I like being involved with organizations where I have an alignment of values. And then in addition to the YMCA activities, I started getting involved with various cancer-related causes. I'd been diagnosed with cancer and had a number of treatments, and that aspect of my life has really influenced me fairly significantly. I like to tell people that I don't let cancer define me, but it has changed my perspective pretty significantly. And it's one of the things that, again, when you look at sort of the basic values around the auditorium, or you look at the expressions and the sayings, you know, in the elevators in Birmingham, all that means a lot to me now. Before it was kind of a neat saying, but now I understand that the people that wrote those really got it. And so it's important to me, more important to me than ever, to spend a part of my life, you know, executing those kind of values. And so volunteering, I think, is an important part of that. And, you know, whatever I can do to add value, which is really surprising, because you can add a lot more value than you think you can. And the skills that you develop as a banker, in whatever capacity you are, it's amazing how valuable they can be to other organizations if you just, you know, extend yourself.